Hi, hello guys. Welcome to the seventh session on shell scripting. That is Unix shell scripting specifically for DBS. So far in the six sessions that we had, we completed successfully, understanding what is shell, what are the different kinds of shells we have got, and though you are in Corn shell or C shell or any other shell, how can you write a script in Bash and you can run it in the Bash? So that is with the help of shebang, and that's what we have understood so far. So I've just come back to the content so that I can give a glimpse of what we have done so far. So this is the first one which I said, what are the different kinds of shells we have got, and how do we make sure we write a script in one shell and execute in another shell as well. And we have also seen how do we build a normal scripting block, and how do we run and create a script, executable script. And then in case if you have some issues in the script, how do we debug is what we have understood in the topic number 1.5. And then in the bash environment, we have started understanding how does a shell initializes. That means we have understood what is .bash underscore profile, what is bash underscore logout. This is with respect to Linux environment though, because these files will be different. For AIX, for example, there will not be .bash underscore profile, instead you will have .profile. So that would be the difference, but the functionality will be almost the same, because on AIX the default shell is Corn but not Bash. And we have understood that initialization part, and also we have understood how do we define variables and also characters within the script. And we have also seen expansions and aliases. Expansions in the sense how do we use dollar and followed by braces and also backticks, and how do we write an arithmetic expressions, etc. we have seen. And also we have seen what is alias and how do we write a very short command for a full-fledged command or a filter that you wanted to type. So that's where alias we have seen. And then regular expressions, yes, we have seen how do we search for something, how do we filter for some character in a file. That's where we have seen multiple options using grep and also pattern matching, whenever you are searching for a file name in a directory. So with respect to character matching and with respect to character split matching, all these things we have seen. And then the earlier session, so coming back to the sixth session, we have seen interactive and non-interactive editing. So these two topics were majorly concentrating on how to use sed command. So how do we filter using sed? Earlier to this we have seen grep. So very similar to this sed and grep, now we are saying awk. So awk is also a different programming language which is again helps you to do the filtering job again. So it is not very different from grep and sed, but because it's a separate programming language and it is also a very new form of GNU editor, so it is also a stream editor, we have to understand what is the difference in awk compared to sed and compared to grep, and when to use awk, when not to use. Because if you know when to use awk, and if you compare with sed and grep, you will definitely understand when not to use awk, because awk is something which will redirect your command to a separate shell and it will make an execution into a separate program. So that's the reason whenever you use awk in your programming in your script, please make a note that it will in turn adds a lot of weight to your script in terms of execution, because it is not directly it is not the direct command which runs in the shell, but instead it has to redirect the complete input to a separate awk program, or you can say that awk shell. It is not a shell exactly, but it's a like separate program where it has to redirect all the inputs, execute that into that program and give you the output. So it is not part of the shell, but it's a separate program within the shell. So you are with the awk, definitely there are a lot of benefits of awk, so definitely you will be using them in the script. But what I'm trying to say is, do not make awk very heavy inside your script, in case if you want a better performance out of the script. In case if you're not worried about the performance, you wanted only the functionality, then you can use awk like anything. Alright, so now we are here, so let us understand what is awk and then we will see further. So let's go to the awk programming. So this is where it is. Yeah. And let me read through it, and then basically when I read through, you must be understanding almost what is the definition of awk, and I will also give you a glimpse as soon as I read this completely so that you understand it better without missing anything. So gawk is the GNU version of commonly available Unix awk program. So another popular stream editor. So earlier to this, what were the popular editors we have seen? Sed. So just like Sed, awk is also another popular stream editor. Since awk program is often just a link to gawk. So when I say link, it is a soft link. So if you know the Unix better, there are soft links and hard links inside the Unix platforms. So in case if you wanted much more details about it, you can refer on the web about the soft link. So if you call this soft link called awk, it will go and in turn call the gawk. This is the original command, but we often refer it as just awk. So the basic function of awk is to search files for lines or other text units containing one or more patterns. So whatever pattern you define in the awk command, it will search for that in the per line to line basis or in the text basis. If you want to search for a file, it does. Lines it does, and it will, if you want for a text pattern to be searched, it does. So when a line matches one of the patterns, special actions are performed on that line. So when I say special actions, that is nothing but whatever you define in the awk. So you can define in the awk in this way. So you can tell the awk what to search for, and you can also tell the awk what to do after you find that. So that's what you can do with the help of awk. So even Sed can do that, but Sed has got a lot of limitations. What is it? It can find for a pattern and it can replace it with a separate pattern, that's it. But awk can also add something, can be deleted something, can be added a different pattern at the beginning of the line, at the end of the line. You can actually play with the columns in the complete file and also rows in the complete file. So that's the reason awk is basically data driven. So as you see here, because it can play with columns, rows, patterns, numbers, characters, it can play with anything. So awk is basically data driven program language. So you can describe the data, what you want to work with, and then what to do when you find it. That's what it says. You can say in awk what to search, and as soon as it finds, you can also tell what to do. And most other languages are procedural. So you have to describe in detail every step in the program to take. But when you're working with procedural languages, it is usually much harder to clearly describe the data your program will process. So if you wanted to write your own program to do the same job like awk, you can still do it. But in that program, you have to specifically define clearly what it has to process. But awk has got all that functionality built in. So that's the reason awk is the one which are most refreshingly easy and easy to read and write as well, once you are very much familiarized with the commands and also how and what are the functionalities that awk can actually give you. And how is the awk command works? So when you run an awk, you specify an awk program that tells awk what to do. And the program consists of a series of rules. It may be definitions, loops, conditions, and also programming constructs, advanced features. And we will all ignore that for now because we are starting to understand awk from the basics. So we do not go to these loops and all, but definitely that is very important for us to know, which we will know that better later. So each rule specifies one pattern to search for and one action is to perform upon finding the pattern. So there are several ways to run awk. One is directly go and call the program called awk and then give the program what it has to do and to which file it has to go and run the awk. Whether you can give the file name or you can use pipe also. That means if you use pipe, the output of one command, you can redirect that output as an input to the awk command as well. And another way of running awk is you can write the complete file. That means script in a script, awk script you can completely write in a file and then you can run that file with the help of awk-f. So awk-f is to run a script which is in awk. That's how it works. And now with this topic, because we understood the basics of awk first of all, now we will be understanding how do we basically use this awk to print some selected fields. So let us start with a basic filtering with the help of the awk before we go deeper into loops, constructs and conditional statements and working on the giving your own user comments for each and every line and what has to be output, what not to be in the output, etc., etc. We will deal that. And let us first read this, and then we will quickly execute just after reading this, so that you don't miss the flow of understanding the topic as well as executing it. If both are at the same place, you will understand it much better. So alright, so let me read it. So the print command in the awk outputs the selected data from the input file. So please remember one point: print is a very important command in the awk. With the print command that you specify within the awk program, you are telling to print something as an output on the screen. If you don't specify print, your awk is not going to show you anything on the screen at all. So that's the reason, if you wanted some output to be printed from the awk program, definitely the print command is very important in the awk. So you will give some input file and you tell what to search, and you will also tell what to do after finding that pattern. But after finding the pattern, if you wanted something to be displayed on the screen, print is the command. And when awk reads a line of a file, it divides the line in the fields based on the specified input field separator fs. Whenever you find fs, the full form is field separator, which is an awk variable, predefined variable. You cannot use anything else for this. This variable is predefined to be one or more spaces or tabs. Please remember one point: whenever awk is something which will go and read the file line by line. Consider your file has got 10 lines. Awk will start reading line number 1 first. After it completely processes line number 1, it goes to line number 2. And in line number 1, it divides the complete line into fields. When I say fields, you can also call them as columns. So how does the complete line is divided into number of columns by awk? It divides the complete line into number of columns based on the input field separator, that is fs. By default, it divides the complete line into columns wherever it finds one or more spaces or tabs. So as I show you, I'll tell you whatever I'm saying here, but still I'm trying to explain the concept first. So I'm coming back to the first point again. Consider you have an awk which is running on a file. So awk will run on a file line by line. So it will pick up the first line, it process the first line, and then it will go to the second line. That means it will pick up the first line, it will search for the pattern, and it will take an action on that pattern, whatever you define, and then it will come to the second line. And again, when it picks the first line, it divides the complete line into number of fields. So how does it divides the number of, divides the line into fields? Depending on the field separator, that is fs. If you don't specify what is the field separator, by default, awk will take wherever it finds spaces or tabs between two patterns, it will consider that that is the field separator. So each and every field that it identifies, for example, in line number 1, it has got 20 fields. That means 20 columns separated by spaces, or 20 columns with 20 patterns. It can be characters, it can be numbers, it can be anything, wherever it finds space. So all those columns are represented by $1 for the first column, $2 for the second column, $3 for the third column, so on. And if you specify $0, $0 is nothing but the complete line, not the field. So $0 is the entire line, but $1 is to tell the first column or the first field of the first line, or each line one by one. Now let us understand this. What is that I spoke so far with the help of df command. So to do that, I'll have to first connect to my server. So let me do that. So I have my 12c server here. So it's here. I hope password is wrong. Okay, I'll correct it. Okay, so now let me go to the directory where I have my all the scripts saved, and here let me start performing it. Okay, so let's say df-h. So what is that you see on the screen? Whenever you pass this output as an input to the awk command, if you want the awk to process, it will first pick up line number 1. In the line number 1, how many fields it divides? Field number 1, that is file system, because there is a space after it. That is column number 1. Column number 2 is size. Column number 3 is used. Column number 4 is avail. Column number 5 is used percentage. Column number 6 is mounted. column number 7 is on. And very similarly, when it processes second line, column number 1 is /dev/sda3. Column number 2 is 9.8 gig. Column number 3 is 4.8 gig, something like this. Now, whenever you say df-h and you wanted to only print column number 1, you have to pass $1. That's what this one says. That means the output will be only df-h followed by awk. If you say print only $1, it will print only this column. See here, I'll explain that with the example. If you just say awk, print always should be in the single quotations and braces, flower braces. So now just say print $1. Now you close it like this. See here, it is only printing the first column. That means in each and every line that it processes, it will only print the first column that it passes. That's it. This is how awk works. And whatever I said so far, the concepts, I think that makes a lot of sense now after executing this. So just for your easiness, I have another thing to be executed. First of all, before I use this directly, let me show you what is ls-l output is. How many columns do you have? This is column number 1. This is column number 2. This is column number 3, because there is space between these two things. Column number 3, column number 4, column number 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So the 9th column has got, the file names, and the 5th column has got size of each and every file. Now if I wanted to show size of the file and followed by the file name, how do I use awk? This is how I use. So let me show you that here. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. So see here, as I show you, copy it and paste it. As you see on the screen, ls-l, we know what is the output, and I'm only saying to print $5. So in line number 1, there is only $1 and $2. There is no $5 at all. That's the reason there is empty line for line number 1, because there is no $5 and not $9. But when it started processing second line to the next until the last, it found $5, that is the size, but it also found $9, that is the file name. But see, is the output very clear? No, there is no proper structure for the output at all. So how do you make a proper structure of the output is what the next topic. So as you see in the document, yes, formatting fields. How do you format this? So I wanted the same thing, but I don't want total to be the part of the ls, because when I say ls-l, as you see on the screen, you also found total in the output, right? How can I remove this output called total? As you already know, using grep-v, right? So now I use this. So if I show you the output without total, first of all, without awk, see here. So without awk, this is the output of ls-ldh star, and without the total. Now I wanted to format the output with the proper frame of sentences saying that this is the size of this file. So how do I include the pattern? Format. See here, awk, I'll write it like this. So now let me fire this query and then explain you the query. See here now, it is excellent, right? It is saying size is 204 bytes for file.txt. Size is 18 bytes for Oracle date. Something like this. See, it is very easy to understand. So how is it processing? Within the print, you are giving size is in the double quotes. That means it's a user given comment that will be added for each and every line that it processes. Whatever you give in print, please remember that it will be actually processing for each and every line that it processes. So after you are saying first print size is, and then after that print $5. That means $5 should not be given in double quotes. Only the user given comment should be given in double quotes. So after $5, that is size, you are saying to print bytes for. So it is also printing bytes for, and after that you are also saying to print $9. Simple. This is how you format the output from the awk command. Now the next one is very similarly df-h, we know the output, but something that I wanted to show you is what is sort. Before I execute awk, I'll show you what is this output. As you see on the screen, df-h is something which will give you the sizes, right? But sort-r and k will actually result the output based on the 5th column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th column, the output is not in a ascending or descending order, right? Now whenever you use sort, it will basically sort all the columns based on the reverse order. R in the sense reverse order, that means in descending order. N means based on the numerics. So I am asking you to sort not based on the characters, I am asking you to sort based on the numbers that you find in the column number 5, and K in the sense in which column you have to use this sort. So I am saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th column you do the sorting. So that's how this sort works. Now you see sort in the reverse order, that is in descending order on the numerics for the column number 5. So now if you see, you can find all the columns with the descending order with respect to the 5th column, that is only with respect to the numbers, that's it. That's what you see on the screen. See here. Now if I pass this to head-3, it will only show you the top 3 of the result. Head in the sense on the top. -3 tells how many rows it has to show you on the top. So now if I fire this, now you understand why is this output for the complete command. Now with this as an input to awk, what is that I'm telling the awk to do? Print partition as the prefix for each and every line, $6. What is $6? $6 is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the partition. This is $6, and this is the size of percentage which is filled. That's the reason you see. Now you print the output saying that give the partition name and also the size which is filled. See its beauty. Partition called /cdb data is 69% full. Partition pdb data is 65% full. Partition oracle is 58% full. And because we used /t and colon, /t will tell the awk to add tab space. So that's the reason you have a dedicated tab space added. And then colon is a special character that it will just type as it is. There is no difference. And also full exclamatory is also the characters which you have given in the double quotes. It will also add it. So just like /t, you can also use /n. So these are the different things. /a will actually include a bell character. /n will tell the awk to actually go to the new line. /t will tell the awk to add tab space in the output. Alright. So this is how it works. Now let me explain you how does I can use the regular expressions in the printing. If you want to search for a simple search for a pattern and then you wanted to apply something, how do you do? So before I fire this, let me copy paste and then do this. But why is this not working, I'll tell you. But before that, let me show you the output of df-h. Whatever you give before the flower braces starts, it will go and search for that pattern. Whatever you give the pattern starting with / and then again the /, whatever you write in between 2 forward slashes, it will search for that pattern. So searching for the pattern in awk will happen just after the single quote, and then you have to give whatever you wanted to search within 2 forward slashes. So that one and this one. Whatever you type here, it will search for that one. In this, now let me say, in the awk command using awk, okay, you search for anything with the name called dev, and it also includes a special character called /. Because I am including special character called /, I have to escape it. As I have already explained, if you want to escape a special character, you have to always use /. So I am telling that this is a special character that you should include in the search. So anything which is starting with dev followed by / followed by SDA, you search for that pattern. And whenever you search for that pattern, print $6, tab and $5. Now if you see, it has found, where is it? / with 49% full. It has found /dev /SDA3. So I am telling to awk to only search like this. So see here, to explain you differently, search for this. This in turn means this to awk. I'm telling you it doesn't actually work, but I'm trying to split it so that you understand it better. So that means I'm telling awk, whenever I start /, it will think that whatever I write after this /, it has to search for that pattern. So it will be searching for dev /SDA. Because / is a special character that has to be included in the search pattern, I have escaped it with /. And then // tells the awk that the pattern ends. So it has whatever you type between two forward slashes, it has to search for that. So in the first column, it found dev/sda3 for the mount point called slash. So I told to actually display $6, that is nothing but mount point name, and then colon, and then size of the column used. So it is saying slash is used 49%, and again dev/sda is found here. So it says that slash oracle is filled with 58%, and again here slash cdb data is filled with 69%, slash pdb data is filled with 65%. This is how awk will also help you to search for something and then print whenever it finds that pattern. Alright, let us come back here. Very similarly, in case if you have something to be searched with the names starting with A or X, and it can have anything after A or X starting with A or X, and I'm sure you remember that backward slash followed by less than symbol is to tell to search for something with beginning with that characters. I think I have used this in the grep command. So please revise back, the same thing also works. And also as you see, dollar will tell that search for something with this pattern which is at the end of the file name. Alright, so now let me redirect myself where I can find all these things in etc. Now I wanted to list everything before I run the awk. Out of all these things, I wanted to see only the files which are starting with either A or X as the character but ending with .conf. I wanted to see only the file name, that is $9. Now let us see what will be the output. See here, I have only 3 files, and all these 3 files are starting with A and ending with .conf. And please remember, because it searched for .conf, I escaped with backward slash. So that means .conf is something that it searched for the last line or last character set to be included. And as I said, .star, this will tell the awk command that after this A or X, it can be anything. It is not just a star, you have to use .star. .star will tell the awk to search for anything. So I'll divide this into parts so that you'll understand what is that it exactly does. Whenever it finds forward slash, it means to search for something, right? So whenever you see backward slash and then less than symbol, it is to tell to search for the file name starting with A or X. Now whenever it finds .star, it can be anything after this A or X. After that, you are saying to end with, because you have a special character called dot, you are escaping with backward slash. So you are saying all the file names starting with A or X, and it can have anything but ending with .conf. That is what dollar says. Search for that one. So this is where search ends. Search starts from here and ends here. That means the pattern which is matching this condition, it will search for that, and for that you are saying only to print $9. That means 9th column of this output. So 9th column of the output is only the file name. That's the reason this is the output. Hope this explanation is pretty clear for you, because once you go on and on with the awk, you will be seeing most complex awk formation also. That's the reason you have to be very strong in basics of awk. That's the reason I'm taking pain in actually splitting complete patterns and explaining you how does it make sense. If you don't understand this splitting, if you directly read this, you will definitely scratch your head. When to use dot, when to use star, when to use dot, when to use backward slash, when to use dollar, when to use less than. You will not understand if I don't split it like this. So that's the reason I did it, so that you feel more comfortable in doing it. Alright. Now, in case if you want to, search with the special patterns, or sorry, if you want to precede the complete output with one comment as a preceding output, that means the output of awk should always begin with this one as an output first, and then based on the conditional search. So I am retaining the same search whatever I did before, but before I show you the complete output, I am saying that what are the files found. So you will find the difference. See here, let me execute. This is the output, right, earlier. Now to this I'm also adding the additional thing called begin, followed by in braces I said print files found, and then go to the new line. That's the only thing. See the output here, you can see only the files list, but along with the files list you can also see that you have found files. Files found is the statement that I wanted to print. So it has printed at the beginning of the awk output. So whenever you use begin something and if you write something here, it will print this whatever you write in the flower braces before the awk output prints. So this is the actual awk output, but before this is printed, this one will be printed because you have given that in the begin. And then you are telling to search something and then you are asking to print something. And very similar to begin, you also have end. So in case if you wanted to add some text to the end of the output of the awk, instead of begin you have to use end, but after the awk functionality you have to write end. And you are saying here, after you completely give the output of the awk with these conditions whatever I have given, you just print, can I do anything else for you? See here, it is showing all the output of the awk, and after that it is printing, can I do anything for you? So begin is to print something before the awk prints the output. End is something to print after the awk prints the output. Alright, hope this is very much clear. Right, come back. So you can also run, as I said, so far we have been running the awk command completely on the command line itself. In the command itself I am giving what has to be searched, and once it finds these things what has to be done, I am giving you completely in the command line itself. In case if you don't want that to happen like this, in case if you want to write the awk script inside a file, and then if you want to execute that file on top of a input, you can also do that, as I said you before. So how do you do? See here, let us write an awk script called disk, representing here, let me actually show you, where is it? Yeah, I am trying to create a script with the name disk rep.awk. Inside this I am writing my awk script. Do not write anything with starting with awk. Instead write something whatever you wanted to do after the awk starts. So here I am saying begin, print first. That means this is the first line that it will be printed before the awk executes. So it will be saying warning, warning and warning. And what is that it is trying to search? Whenever you find 8 or 9 in the first line, followed by 0 or 9 percentage. That means it will be searching for anything with 80%, 81%, 82%, 83%, so on until 99%. So because I am saying there should be 2 numerics followed by percentage in each and every line, you search for that. Whenever you find the first numeric as 8 and the second numeric can be anything between 0 and 9, or the first numeric with 9 and the second numeric with anything with 0 and 9 and percentage, then print partition name and you say so much of percentage is filled, and you are asking to give money to buy new hard disks because you are saying that hard disk is filling up. That means you wanted to increase the hard disk size. Now this is what I have given. I'm sorry, I cannot write it because I hope I am in etc directory, right? I have come back to script directory and then I'm writing the script here again. Hope you understood this very much better, but I'll try to repeat it so that you understand it better, because you getting it is very important than I am typing it because I know it already. So if you see here, this is the first line will be printed as an output on the screen, and this is what you are asking to search for. So if you divide this, this is what you are asking to search, right? This is a special pattern, and you are asking to search for something. For each and every pattern, search for anything which is starting with 8 and 9, and the second numeric can be anything between 0 and 9, and then it has to also have percentage at the end. Whenever you find such pattern in each and every line, then print the mount name and then what is the percentage that it is filled. And after printing everything, then you ask money to actually print the output. That's it. It is simple. Now if you wanted to print run this, see how do I run. Beauty. There are no mount points which are above 80%. That's what it means. So just see here. See, there is nothing above 80%, but there are something about 60%, right? So to show you this script functionality, let me change this to anything between 6 to 9. So search for anything between 6 to 9 with the starting number, and the second numeric can be anything, and print the output. Now if you see the output, because I understood it better, see here, this is the beauty. It found 69% full for CDB data. It found 65% full for PDB data. So this is how awk search can help you to identify what are the mount points which are above 80%, above 60%, above anything, like the logic that I have used now. You can also use in your scripting skills. Alright, hope you understood this better. And as I have been telling you so far, that you need an input field operator to go and separate each and every field of a line, right? So whenever I say df-h, if I am passing this to the awk variable, by default it will divide each and every line into columns based on spaces between two characters or two words or two patterns, isn't it? This is of column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, something like that. But in case if you wanted to divide the columns in each and every line based on some characters that you have in mind, how do you do is what let us see. But before that, let me show you the output of PASSWD of the screen. See, there is no space at all between each and every line in this file. That means if I pass this to awk with the default field separator as space, that means all the output, I mean this particular file will have only one column with respect to default field separator. In case if you say field separator is colon, that means it has to divide this complete line into number of fields based on the column separator, colon. Then this will become $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, because all these are separated with colon. This is how you can also give user defined input field separators as well. That's what the next topic of discussion. So if we wanted to do that, see here colon. So now if I say field separator, not the default field separator called space you have to use, instead use the field separator called colon, and then you do the job of printing first column and also fifth column with tab in between. From which file? /etc PASSWD. If you don't use this fs clause in the begin statement in the awk, by default the field separator value is space. So that's what we have seen so far, but now I am showing you something different like this. See, now it has printed only first column and also the fifth column separated by tab in between. Wherever it finds colon, colon has become the field separator for each and every line that it processes. Alright, this is how awk works. Fine. If you have your special patterns where it has to divide the columns and fields in the awk, you have to pass it to the parameter called fs. Right. Next, if you have some field separator, that is output field separator, how do you do? That means when it prints the output, if you wanted the special characters to be included in the output, how do we do? Before that, let me create a file with test and then include some data in it. There are two lines with separated spaces in it. So let me cat it. And now for this data, in case if you want to write an awk, like this simple awk, see here, you will see that automatically, because you said $1 and $2, it has blindly printing $1 here and $2 here without a proper format. This is the output record, right? In case if you wanted to format the output, not the input. Input format is based on fs clause. But for the output formatting, either you have to give comma. Comma will basically add one space between each and every field that it finds, or you can also use special characters that we have used earlier, like add some character called test. That's it. See here what happens. It includes for each and every line, wherever it finds a record, it adds test there. And because before to test I have space, but after test I did not give space, that's the reason it is little clumsy. But now you see, between each and every field it added test. So if you wanted to process the output, one way is to give comma. It will add defaultly one space. Else you can give your own pattern that it adds for each and every line that it prints as an output. Hope this is clear. Let us come back. And how do we record separator? This is nothing but field separator. Field is nothing but each and every column. How do you separate? And in case if you have some record separator, that means if you have your user specific actions that has to be separated, how do? You have output field separators. To change the output fields and record separators, OFS is output field separator, ORS is output record separator. What is record with respect to awk? Record is nothing but line. What is field with respect to awk? Field is nothing but column of a line. So in the output, how does each and every column should be separated with? And in the output, how each and every record, that is each and every line, should be separated with. That's what OFS, ORS will tell. Now we already have test, right? Now you fire this and let me explain you how is this being functional. See here. Now what is it happening exactly? See, command is from here to here. Okay. So let me stretch it to my right and then you will get it. So as you see on the screen, oh my god. As you see on the screen, let me stretch it to my right and then rerun it. See here, this is what it is. And I'm asking to process the test file and output should be there. Because I gave comma, it has to add space between field 1 and field 2, that is record 1 and data 1. But that space, I'm saying OFS, output field separator. Whenever you separate fields in the output, you replace that field with colon. That's the reason between record 1 and data 1, you have colon here. And output record separator, I'm telling to include, go to the new line for each and every line that you process, go to the new line and add double hyphen and greater than symbol and again go to the new line. So every record that you process, please go to the new line, add double hyphen and then greater than symbol and then go to the new line. So after processing each and every record, that is each and every line, it is adding double hyphen and greater than symbol. And because this test file has got empty line at the end, even for the empty line it has added semicolon and also it has added new record like this. So what is OFS? Whatever you find in awk, OFS is nothing but output field separator. That means this, whatever you include here, it will be added for each and every field that it finds. That means each and every column. Output record separator is nothing but for each and every line that it processes. After each and every line processing, what it has to add is what this one will tell. Alright, so this is how output field separators and record separators work. And now I have something very, very interesting now. See here, again output field separator and output record separator. And if you wanted to test the record number, NR will actually tell you how many number of lines that your record is processing. So now see this beauty. If I run the same thing, okay, instead of running this on the test like this, right, instead of writing the script and running on test, whatever I'm doing is I'll just copy it and paste it. I'm sorry here, because it has to be on the single line. I should say awk and then begin followed by this and then print whenever you find this and then end it with this. Okay, and it has to run all these things on test. Now if you see the beauty, every time when it processes each and every line, you are clearly saying to actually say print hyphen for each and every field that it separates. See, it is doing it. Go to the new line and say it is done for each and every line that it processes. So after each and every line, it is printing done. But you're also saying to print record number followed by what is the line number, that is number of records. Because it is processing first line, it is saying that record number 1 is nothing but record 1, data 1 followed by output field separator hyphen. And after writing everything, because I give an end here, that means it has to print whatever you write in the end at the end of processing awk. That's the reason after everything is printed, it is showing you number of records processed are 3. So there are 3 lines in your particular file. 2 are with data, 1 is with the empty data. So that's where you have only hyphen. And for each and every line that it is processing as an output, it is including hyphen and it is also including done. Double hyphen followed by greater than symbol and then done. So what is that I'm trying to do is, what is that I have tried so far to do is, I have tried to give you introduction about awk with a very simple awk. Then I started giving you fields, what is the meaning of field, what is the meaning of record in the awk. Then I tried to use a different input field separator to show you how the awk can separate something for you. Then I have shown you what is the purpose of begin clause and also end clause in the awk. And then I have shown you what is the output field separator, output record separator, how does it work. And again I have shown you now what is the new clause called NR, that is number of records, how does it work. So number of records will actually tell you how many number of lines does your file has got, how many number of lines that is does your awk will process in this particular file. So these variables called NR, OFS, ORS and also FS, that is field separator, now you should be very much familiarized with, because these are the things that we are going to use later. That's the reason it should be very, very comfortable for you. Now I am going to show you something very, very interesting. How do you define a user defined variables? We know FS, OFS and your ORS and NR. These are the variables which are already existing in awk. You can use them. But in case if you wanted user defined variables, how do you do? So to show you that, I am trying to create a new file called revenues. And in this, I wanted to include all this data. Let me print this and then let me show you on the screen. So cat revenues. So here you are seeing this is one date, okay, and this is another date, and this is the consultancy, and what is the name of that consultancy, and what is the price included in it. So column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, separated by not special characters, normal spaces or tabs. So you don't need to give FS. FS, if you don't specify, basically it defines columns with the spaces. Yes, that's true. Now every line it can process. First line has got date, first column or field has got date, second field has got date, third field has got what kind of technology it is, and then the company name, fourth one, and the price is the last one. Now I have something to be executed like this. I wanted to calculate the total amount that is spent, okay, and send the bill for so and so dollars to so and so. That's what you wanted to go and actually look at. Now see here, the beauty is I am giving a user defined variable called total is equals to total plus $5. When does this total basically work? So let me actually copy this, but instead let me write this in the awk script. So I say total.wrk. Now let me calculate the total that it has to bill. Now if I say cat total.work and let me execute it first, awk-f total work on top of revenues. Now if you see here, it is processing each and every line. You are not saying what line it has to execute, because you are telling to print each and every line. You are saying that you have to send bill for $2,500 to the company name which is in $4, that is BigComp. So for the first company called BigComp, you have to say $2,500. Similarly, $2,000 for EduComp, and Smart, that is 10,000, and then EduComp again 5,000. But after you send all these things, you are also telling at the end, you are telling to print total revenue called total. But this total, how is it calculated? Every time when you call total, total is nothing but first initially it is given 0. Every time you process each and every line, it will add $5 value to it. So the first time when it accesses the first line, total value is 0. So 0 plus 2,500, it is 2,500. Second line when it processes, so 2,500 plus 2,000, that is 4,500 has become the total value. Third line when it is processes, 10,000 plus 4,500, that is 14,500. And when fourth line when it completes processing it, the value is 14,500 plus 5,000. After it completes all this cycle, at the end I am asking to print this value of total, so it is 19,500. This is how you can define your own variables, and also you can ask the variables when to actually be participated in the loop. So it can keep adding it, and it can function. It can be functional like this. So this is all about awk. So I hope that you practice all these things yourself, and it will make you have to always make sure that you are very much confident in awk, because if you are confident in awk, you can do wonders with awk. As I said, you have to be in the basics. I try to make sure that your basics are very, very strong in awk. Whenever somebody uses OFS, you should not be blank saying what is OFS. When somebody uses ORS, it should not be blank and saying what is ORS. Similarly, if somebody wants to use a user defined variable, and if they try to use it recursively, you should not be blank at that point of time. So definitely these are the things which we are also going to deal in the while developing the tools. But still, whenever you see a very, very complex tool, even then it should be very much simplified for you to understand awk. That's the reason I gave you so many examples, to make sure that you are very much familiarized with the common things that we use across the awk. So that's it for today's session, and in the next session we are going to see the conditional and interactive scripts, and where the next session will purely concentrate on if clause and then case statements. And after if clause and case statements, we are going to see how display user messages and user input, how do we capture. That will be the next session. So in the 8th session, we are going to see these three topics, and in the 9th session we are going to see these 2 topics. All right.